Have you ever sat at a table and it felt like everyone was drawn to one single person? Or maybe you stepped into a room, you went to an event, and you felt like there was someone who, as soon as they walked in, everyone was drawn towards them. There was something very attractive about this person. And it actually doesn't really have to do with physical attractiveness. I think sometimes people can confuse having a magnetic aura to being just very attractive. But I'm sure you've met people where when you first met them, you probably thought they were very physically good looking. But then as you got to know them, you kind of felt that your attraction really dipped because their personality and their aura just wasn't that attractive. And then on the other hand, you've probably met people who at first you didn't think there was anything super special about the way that they looked. But the more you got to know them, the more you just loved being around them. And you probably just thought that they were so fun and just a great person to be around. And you probably found yourself gravitating towards them more. So how can you develop that magnetic aura? How can you become more attractive and get the attention that you want? And the key here is the attention that you want. It's actually not about attracting attention from everyone. It's not about making everybody like you. It's not about using manipulation tactics to make everyone like you. You actually want to focus on being your true authentic self and becoming magnetic in being self-assured in who you are. And that inner confidence is going to radiate and it's going to attract the right kinds of people to you. You don't necessarily want to run around and trying to make everyone like you because that can lead you down the road of people-pleasing tendencies. And it can lead to you just not being true to who you are, which is very exhausting. If you've ever had to pretend or be fake, you know how exhausting it can be. It's very draining on your energy. So you want to actually focus on being true to yourself and being authentic to who you really are, and becoming magnetic through being confident and through being self-assured and attracting the kinds of people that you actually want to be around. So what is a magnetic aura? It's the energy and the vibes that you give out. It's what you project outwards, and it draws people to you or it actually repels people from you. And this can have an impact in both your social life and your professional life. And while aura is what you project and what you exude and what people can feel and pick up on, the same way that you can feel and pick up other people's energy and their presence, it's actually often a reflection of what's going on within, what's going on the inside. So if you feel confident, if you feel happy and self-assured, if you are good with your own personal life, then it's going to be very easy, it's going to be very natural for you to exude positive vibes, and people are going to be very drawn to that. But if you're not feeling great about your personal life, if you don't feel great about yourself and who you are, things are chaotic, if there's like internal turmoil going on inside of you, then very naturally that gets reflected in your aura, and people can often pick up these subtle signs and subtle clues about yourself. Maybe you were at work, or maybe you were with a friend and you were not really feeling your best and you're just really tired that day. They probably are able to pick up on that, and they might even say something like, hey, is everything all right? You are not acting like yourself. Your energy seems very different and a bit low today. Because as people, we're very good at picking up these subtle signs, these nonverbal cues. So the first step to becoming magnetic and making your aura more attractive is actually focusing on your own inner energy. Mastery of self and mastery of your energy is key. A few things that you might find helpful is meditation or journaling. You can also do shadow work to work on whatever feelings that you feel are holding you back, whatever negativity or baggage from the past that's causing you to have negative self-talks or negative habits that's bringing your energy down, that's draining you. You really want to take some time to think about why that is. It usually will trace back to certain events in your life, maybe something from your childhood, but really thinking about these feelings and emotions and allowing yourself to feel and accept and acknowledge them is going to be key to letting go and releasing them. If you're always running from something, maybe something that is traumatic, maybe something that makes you really unhappy, maybe something that makes you feel ashamed, constantly running away from something actually makes it stronger. So taking a moment to kind of acknowledge these feelings and emotions and facing them is going to be what's going to allow you to actually release and let go of them. You can also try deep breathing exercises, or you can set daily goals and intentions to focus on more positive energy, on having more positive thoughts, and embracing gratitude. Confidence is key, and even if you don't yet feel confident in yourself, you start with little things like self-care or practicing self-love, doing little things to show yourself that you are worthy and you are deserving of everything that you want. Maybe you take a nice warm bath, maybe you do a little bit of journaling, maybe you have an indulgent drink like coffee or matcha. These little acts of self-care can go a long way when it comes to building self-love. Another good way to build up your self-confidence is to embrace the things that make you unique and different. When you have confidence, and even if you don't have it yet, when you project confidence, people are naturally very drawn to that. And on the flip side, people are also very repulsed by insecurity. So if you're projecting a lot of negativity or jealousy or insecurity, most people are not going to be attracted to that. They're going to find it very repulsive and they're going to want to avoid it. They're just negative emotions and nobody really wants to be reminded of them. So if you find yourself being jealous of someone or something, instead of being jealous, let that inspire you and let that be more of a goal. And just say, hey, that's really great that they were able to accomplish this. And if they can do it, then maybe that means I can do it too. It also helps to practice speaking more eloquently, speaking with clarity and conviction, and to communicate to others that you are confident and that you are sure of yourself and sure of what you're saying. It also really helps to stay present and stay engaged in what's currently happening. If you've ever interacted with someone where it felt like they were very distracted and they weren't fully present in the conversation that you were having, you probably found it to be a little bit annoying or irritating. People generally don't love it when you're with them, but you're not fully present. So try to be present and try to be engaged in whatever activities that you're currently doing right now. It also helps to give subtle cues that you are listening. You could smile, you could have little nods, you can maintain eye contact, you can try to actually listen to what people are saying and try to respond thoughtfully instead of just waiting for it to be your turn to speak or waiting for it to be your turn to talk about yourself. Try to actually listen and be engaged with the person that you're speaking to. You can also slightly mirror their body language because it will make them feel more comfortable. It'll make them feel like you like them and you're enjoying the conversation. Ultimately, everyone's favorite topic is to talk about themselves. So if you've ever met someone who has a dog or they have a kid, their favorite thing to talk about is going to be their dog or their kid, and you likely know that. So if you ask them questions about themselves, you ask them meaningful questions about themselves and give them the opportunity to speak, then they're going to remember this experience as a very positive and memorable one, and they're going to think that you're a very fun and entertaining person to be around, and they're going to be like, that person's really lovely, I love being around them, their energy is great. Another little tip is speaking someone's name. If you meet someone new and you learn their name and you say their name a few times in the conversation, not only will it help you remember their name if you're bad with names like me, but people love to hear their name. It's like everyone's favorite word to hear. So speaking someone's name a few times throughout the conversation will again leave a good impression of you. The next one is embracing authenticity. If you've ever met someone who was very unapologetically themselves, to the point where you felt like, wow, I could never be myself like that in that way around everyone. There's something very attractive about somebody who is very open and very honest. It kind of shows that they're willing to be vulnerable because they're very much willing to be themselves and stay true to who they are. So staying true to yourself and practice being vulnerable, because it's going to really show everyone that you are being authentic and that you're not being fake or being manipulative just to get them to like you. The next one is radiating positivity. Something you can do is to start your day with gratitude journaling. You can just write down 3 things that you're grateful for and why. Can be as small as your coffee or your dog, whatever actually makes you happy and brings you joy. You can also smile more, or you can offer other people genuine compliments. And lastly, you can reframe challenges as learning opportunities. These little steps will help you practice gratitude, which will help you feel really uplifted internally, and it's going to help you radiate positivity. The next one is your appearance. While appearance is not everything, it really does help to take care of yourself. When you wear something nice, you probably feel a lot better. When you get dressed up, you probably feel a lot more confident. And that shows up not only with the outfits you're wearing, or maybe the makeup that you're wearing, or your hair, the way that you've kind of groomed yourself. But it shows up in your posture as well, because when you look good, you feel good, and you're able to radiate that confidence. So pay attention to how you look and your hygiene. Humor can be very helpful. You don't have to try to be the funny person if you're not. But even something small like learning to laugh at yourself when you do silly things or when you make mistakes can really help, because rather than reacting very negatively or reacting very angrily to certain situations, you're going to be able to take a step back and kind of take everything in stride. You also want to build up your emotional intelligence, be empathetic, and try to understand other people's perspective and where they're coming from and why they might be feeling a certain way. You also want to practice staying calm in certain situations and not being too emotionally reactive so that you can stay composed under pressure. Also pay attention to nonverbal cues, so someone's body language and the way that they're speaking, their tone, how open they are or how closed off they are. You've probably been in a similar situation where you're with your friend and you're like, hey, do you want to get this to eat? And maybe they're saying yes verbally, but their body language and the way that they said it kind of let you know that they don't actually want to go to that place or get that thing. There are definitely subtle signs, and sometimes when we lie with our words. But if you pay close attention to the body language and the subtle cues, you'll be able to pick up how someone's really feeling a lot more easily. The next one is to develop a growth mindset. You can do this by staying curious and open to learn new things, maybe a new skill. You can surround yourself with inspiring and uplifting people, or maybe inspiring and uplifting content. You can read books, listen to podcasts, and it will also really help to see challenges as stepping stones to success rather than setbacks. And the last one is to practice being kind. When you're a kind and considerate person, it leaves people with a very good impression of you. You can also go deeper into this by always following through on promises and commitments to build trust. Alright, that's it for today's little video. I hope that you liked it. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!